Hello and welcome back to today's video, and I thought I would do a quick review and construction video on this beautiful self-drafted sheared dress. Now I have wore her out and she is fabulous. I am in love, and I'm gonna say it's the top 5 things I've made this year. I think coming in at a strong number 1 right now. So I mean, you see how many projects I don't like and utterly fail at, so you understand why this one deserves its own video. So the tutorial I followed for the shirring and the length of the dress I got from Tammy, which I will link below. There is so many videos on shirring, and her one must have came up in the search, and I like the thumbnail. So I cut out a panel that measured 52.5 inches, and the length was 32 inches plus my seam allowance. It's possibly a wee bit longer than that because I wasn't that accurate cutting out, but to get the 52.5 I measured my high bust and times it by 1.5, which gave me 35 times 1.5, which gives 52.5 inches. So that is what we ended with, and it has come out perfectly. I did test shear this first because I wanted to see how the fabric reacts, because I have been stung by this before, of the fabric not shirring the way I expected it to. And it shirred really well. This is a cotton poplin, and this dress cost me about £8 to make because the fabric is the Butterfly Floral Rose and Hubble Cotton Poplin in navy, and it's £3.50 a metre, £7 for 2 metres from Pound Fabrics. If it's still there, I will link it. And I used about 4 spools, 4 bobbins worth of elastic, of shirring elastic, which is about £1 off Amazon. I'll link that as well if you want. I got a pack of 4, and for me it's worked really well. I have no complaints at all, really. It's done what I wanted it to do. So the fabric choice was because I have a jumpsuit from Next, and it's a really busy print and it's amazing and it's come out really well, and I've done a few practice toils, and I just thought a really busy print would work really well, and it does, because it hides the shirring but still maintains the detail of the dress. Now I thought this was a wee bit feminine, a wee bit girly for me. Like the jumpsuit I'm wearing today has boats on it, and yeah, it's a jumpsuit. It's not the most elegant style in the world, but it's what I'm comfortable in. You know, I've got thick thighs, they rub together. These length shorts, I mean, they don't rub together. I've worn this out now. I wore it out all day yesterday to a toddler adventure playground theme park type thing, and it is as chaotic as you would expect it to be, being the first sunny day of the British summer holidays, or English summer holidays, sorry. I would recommend wearing shorts underneath so you don't go around flashing the world, but that is by the by. So I cut out my square of fabric, and I followed the instructions on how to make the casing from Tammy. I possibly didn't do the exact same measurements, so I folded the top half down and the bottom seam down as well, eventually by 1/4 of an inch, and then again by 7/8 of an inch, and then just top stitched all the way around. I then started shirring right from the top, and I shirred down to just where my belly starts to curve out the way, and the width between each layer is the width of my walking machine sewing foot, which is about 3/8 of an inch. And I did that because drawing a lot of lines on nearly 53-inch fabric is nigh on impossible, and I've tried it and it was hard. I have one side seam. Now I chose to have the seam at the side because I wanted a little bit of a slit going up the side, which is why the seam isn't up the back. So after I completed all my shirring, and it's about 8 inches, maybe a wee bit more on me, I went ahead and I finished the seam off. So I overlocked the edge on each side and all the way down just to finish off the edge. I then sew together the seam with a seam allowance of about 1/2 inch, and I sewed all the way down and stopped about 6 inches from the bottom, and that gave me my slit. Now you could have a really long slit, or just a wee slit, or no slit, because there's enough body in the actual skirt part of the dress that you have plenty of space to walk. Now to me it comes just at knee level, maybe like mid knee, which is perfect. I don't want something too short, and I did try it being longer and it just didn't give me it just didn't look right, but mid knee, absolutely perfect. So after I sewed the side seams, I did the bottom seam, which is the same method as I did there, and because I ironed open this side seam, when I folded up the bottom seam, it nicely opened up the slit and has now kept it all the way open. Now the straps, I just cut out the width of fabric, and I cut 2 long strips for width of fabric, which I think my width of fabric was about 44 inches, and I cut these out of 4 inches, and then I sewed them right sides together all the way along, and then folded it in half lengthways and cut it, and that ended up being my straps. So each strap is your 2 pieces of fabric, and it's tied in a cute little bow on the arm. I wanted something long and gives me enough space to actually make the bow, and you can see I've just top stitched the end, each end, so through it you can see top stitching. Now the side seam, the actual seam goes all the way up one edge. I didn't put it at the back just because of the way I sewed it. So these end up being about 22 inches long each, roughly. And that is pretty much it for construction. Now, the toil I made, I put elastic in this casing all the way around, and it gave it like this really tight look, and you didn't need these straps, and it's just a really nice open, like your shoulders are open, you don't need to wear a bra. But for this one I actually quite like the frill. So then just with the shirring, I thought, well, this might not be enough to keep it up, especially like being grabbed by my toddler. I'm not a huge fan of last year in the world, which is why I added on the straps. Now these are secured in place just with, I've just sewn it in a little square on the front and the back, and it was just sewn within this roughly bit here. I put it on and I marked where my bra straps were at the front, and I roughly tried to mark where they were at the back. I put it on Delilah and then I pinned it in place. So then, even you can see from the back, it does mostly hide the bra straps. And when I'm wearing it, it does hide the bra straps, because obviously Delilah isn't a perfect accurate representation of me. So then I thought with the frills, with the straps, I was like, how am I going to do the straps? Now ideally I think I would want just straight, nice thick straps going over without the bow, but trying to do that on myself without someone to pin the straps in place at the back for me to sew in, I thought it was just a wee bit challenging. So I've gone with shoulder ties. Now if you'd asked me like a couple of days ago, what sewing trends do you hate or really dislike, it's these. I'm not a huge fan of these, because I think, if it gets a wee bit cooler, the weather in Britain is so changeable, man. Like if you see any British person, like you will get onto the weather. And then I think putting on a cardigan or a jumper, it looks like you got little horns kind of trying to grow out your shoulders. I think it's a wee bit uncomfortable. But I think on this, she's so girly and frilly. Like, it's just a hint of a frill, not too much. We're not going like full on, I don't know, I can't think of the right thing here, the right analogy. She's just a wee bit frilly. And the fact that the fabric is it's so floral, I just think it fitted the whole look. I just really think it fit the whole look. And when I put it on, I feel like this is something you could find in a shop, and it makes you feel really feminine, and I struggle with feeling feminine. This dress gives me that, but also the security of my bra straps being hidden, it being quite modest as well, and it's not going to fall down. And this is what this dress gives me. So I'm an absolute mega fan of it, and I love the cotton poplin. I think it's a really good weight fabric to shirr. I think anything heavier and you are going to start to struggle. I wouldn't go and buy quilted weight cotton to make this, and because I've done it and it doesn't work. Like, it was utterly ridiculously failed project. But this being a wee bit lighter really does work for dressmaking, and having nice big bows as well. It's like, I've got bows on my shoulders and I'm going to own them because they're ridiculously long. So that is a wee bit of the construction that I just thought I'd share with you. If you've seen a load of these videos and just wondered how some of the other details, I hope this video's helped. And I hope if you want to learn to shirr, this video gives you the sort of confidence to go ahead and do it. My machine was on the tension was set to 5, and I put it on the longest stitch length of 4. Definitely go ahead and do a test piece just to nail in your settings, and I would say just go for, once you start it, don't stop it. Just setting up your machine over again is really annoying. And I also would say go ahead and preload your bobbins as first. So I loaded 2 at a time when I was doing it, just so I could go straight into the next bobbin when it ran out. And part of the reason why I sewed such a big seam allowance on the side is because I went down 4 stitches, because I had a stitch length of 4, and then went back the way. And those 4 stitches might be a bit different for you, ended up being the width of my foot. And when I wanted to sew the edges together, I wanted to make sure that I caught all the ends of the shirts and all the turns within this. So the shirring, I've actually sewn the shirring together, not just the bits of fabric at the end, which didn't have any shirring in it. So that's what I wanted to do for that, basically. I think that's everything. I hope that's helped someone. If not, I don't know why you watched to the very end. Cheers. See you next time.